Hello guys, welcome to IB360. In this video we are going to solve an example problem of impulse. So if you haven't watched the video of impulse, I recommend you to watch our video. The link will be floating above. Do click the link, watch the video, then come to this video. You will get your concepts cleared. So with that said, let's get started. So in order to solve this question, we need to know the basics of impulse. So we know that impulse is nothing but change in momentum, that is delta p, that is equal to final momentum minus of initial momentum, right? And impulse is nothing but f times of delta t, right, is equal to delta p. So this we derived in the previous video on impulse. So force is nothing but delta p divided by delta t. So that means change in momentum divided by change in time. So this is what? This is the change in momentum. This is momentum change. Momentum change. Delta p means momentum change. And delta t means change in time. So together they quantify what? Rate of change of momentum. Okay. So that means in order to calculate the force, we need the change in momentum and the change in time. Okay. So there are two ways of solving this question. The first way is, so in order to solve this question, we need change in momentum. That is final momentum minus of initial momentum, right? So that means pick up 2 points from the graph. So suppose this is the first point. Okay, so for the first point, time is how much at t equal to 2 second. For the first point at t equal to 2 second, the momentum is 40. So the momentum is 40 kg meter per second, right? And pick up another point. So suppose I pick up this point. So for the second point, I have, for the second point, that is at t equal to 4 second, the momentum is how much? The momentum is 80 kg meter per second, right? So that means just take t equal to 2 second as the initial momentum of the particle and t equal to 4 second at the final momentum of the particle. So that means delta p is what? Delta p is final momentum minus of initial momentum, right? So that is, what is final momentum? Final momentum is how much? Is 80 kg per meter square per second minus 40, right? So that means the change in momentum is how much? 40 kg meter per second. Okay, and what is the change in time? Delta c. So that means this was our initial time and this was at our final time, right? So that means delta t is what? Tf minus ti, that means final minus initial. So which will be equal to how much? So this will be equal to your 4 minus of 2 second. So this will be equal to how much? 2 second, right? So that means what will be the value of force? So what does delta p means? Delta p means the change in momentum and delta t means the change in the time. The time change between these two particular events, right? Initial time and the final time. So that means the force will be equal to how much? Delta p divided by delta t, right? So that means this will be equal to your how much? This will be equal to 40 divided by 2. So this will be equal to your 20, right? 20 Newton. So over here we got the force was equal to your how much? 20 Newton. Okay. So that means we got the value of force by the first method. So this is our first method. Okay. So that means this is a unique method because no one uses this method. Now going on to the second method. So in the second method, we will actually use the graph. Okay. First method also use the graph, but we'll use the graph more in the second method. So in the y-axis we have plotted momentum, and the x-axis we have plotted time, and the straight line goes like this. This is a straight line, right? So that means again consider 2 points. So this point is our P1 comma T1, right? P1 comma T1, I'm marking it in yellow. So that means over here this will be P1 and this will be T1, right? This will be T1, right? Basic graph. And suppose this will be pointer P2 comma T2. So that means this will be how much? This will be your P2, and this will be your T2, right? So that means what will be this? So this is T1, right? So this is T1 and this is T2. So what will be this part? Yeah, so it will be very good, T2 minus T1, right? T2 minus T1. So this part will be your T2 minus T1, right? So that means I have this part as our T2 minus T1, T2 minus T1, that means change in time, so that is delta T. So over here I have delta T, right? And similarly, what will be this one, right? So we have to subtract similarly the whole P2. So if I just subtract, so this is P1, right? And this whole is P2. So if I just subtract from P to P1, so that means we'll get this one, right? So that means this part will be how much? This part will be our P2 minus P1, right? So let me just rub this so you will be cleared. So that means this was our delta T, right? This was our delta T, and this will be how much? This will be P2 minus P1, right? So that means this will be how much? This will be also, so what is P2 minus P1? P2 minus P1 is nothing but delta P, right? So that means this will be our delta P. So that means this is our delta T and this is our delta P. So that means if I just find the, suppose this angle is theta. So from the triangle, can I write that tan theta is equal to delta P divided by delta T, which is nothing but P2 minus P1 divided by T2 minus T1, right? So I can always write this, right? I can write this, right? And what is delta P divided by delta T, which is equal to the force, right? So that means I can write that force is nothing but tan theta. So if I just find the slope of the graph, so what is tan theta? Tan theta is the slope of the graph. And is the slope of the graph constant? See, the slope of the graph is always constant. Take any 2 points, the angle will be always theta. If you take these two point, the angle will be same, theta. So right, the slope of the graph is always constant, so the force is also constant, right? And the force, so that means as the slope is constant, so as tan theta, that is the slope, is constant, right? So that means force will be always constant. Okay, so that means you have to find the angle, just this angle. So in order to calculate this angle, right, take a triangle. So suppose I take this point. So that means for the triangle we have this as how much? This to this will be our 4, right? From this point to this point, this will be our 4 units. And from this point to this point, this will be our how much? 80, right? So that means from the triangle, can I say that tan theta is nothing but 80 divided by 4, right? So that tan theta is equal to 20, right? So from the triangle we said that tan theta is how much? 20. So that means the value of the force will be always 20, right? And the force will be how much? The force will be 20 Newton, the force will be 20 Newton, okay, and the force will be a constant force. Why it will be a constant force? Because the slope of the graph is not changing, right? If you take any 2 points, suppose I'm taking this point and this point, right? So what is the angle? Theta. Take any other 2 points, this point and this point, right? What is the angle? Theta. So that means the slope of the graph is not changing. That means tan theta will remain constant, right? So that means the force will remain constant. So this will be a constant force of magnitude 20 Newton. So from here we get the concept that for a momentum time graph, the slope of the graph gives the force. So if you just find the slope of the graph will get the value of force. So this is a important concept. If you just find the slope of the graph, you'll get the value of force. You can use it directly and solve also, okay, but I have explained the concept over here, okay, and that's why the video got too long, okay. So now just for the second part, the change in the kinetic energy over 10 seconds of the motion, okay, first 10 seconds. So that means, see, initially what is the kinetic energy? Initially at t equal to 0, at that means for part B, okay, I'm writing for part B, at t is equal to 0, or can I say that the momentum, initial momentum is 0, right? At t equal to 0, the momentum is 0, right? So what does it imply? Implies that the velocity is 0, right? Because mass is 80 kg, mass into velocity is momentum. As mass is not equal to 0, velocity must be equal to how much? 0, right? So that means velocity is 0 at t equal to 0 second. Now if I find at t equal to 10 second, so what is the value of this momentum? 200, right? So that means at t equal to 10 second, momentum is how much? 200, right? So that means our velocity will be how much? Velocity is what? Mass into velocity is momentum, right? So velocity will be 200 divided by mass. And what is the mass? The mass is how much? 40 kg, right? So that means the velocity will be how much? Velocity will be 5 meter per second. 5 meter per second, right? So that means we have to find from the question, we have to find the change in the kinetic energy, right? So that means that initial kinetic energy will be how much? So kinetic energy initial, so this is half mv1 squared, right? Vi squared. So take this as initial velocity, take this as final velocity. Why? Because this was our initial time and this was our final time, right? So that means kinetic energy is what? Half mvi square. So that means half into what is the mass? Mass is 40 into 0 squared. So that means this was 0. And the final kinetic energy is what? Half m vf squared. So that means half into 40 into 5 squared, right? So this will be equal to 25 into 20 into 25. So that means this will be equal to 500, right? So that means what is the change in kinetic energy? Delta Ke. So what is this? So this is final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. So that means this will be equal to how much? 500 joules. You have to specify the unit also. So I hope you got the question. It was a very good question. We got to learn some things from this also. So we'll be coming with these questions more and more. Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon. We upload a video every day and every bit of your IB syllabus will be completed from IB360 website, YouTube channel. So do subscribe and stay safe. Thank you.